Hey, what's going on, Team Taurus? This is Brandon over on My Intuitive, here to do a weekend energy reading for you for the dates of July 12th through the 14th. This is just going to be a simple read to get you guys through the weekend, maybe take you a little further than that if you know what you're doing with it. But the way we're going to do it is I'm going to take two cards for each of the basic kinds of Taurus out there. We're going to do two cards for the single Taurus, two cards for the Taurus in a couple or married, and then two cards for the Taurus that's like in between, maybe side piecing it up. You know, who knows? I don't judge. But we're going to do a little bit of something for everybody. Take information from whichever stack you need to, because energy is fluid. So there's probably information no matter which way you identify yourself right now in your status. But let's get into it. What do we have for Team Taurus? Hopefully you guys are having a good Friday so far. Fantastic start to the weekend. We need some good information from the spirit guides for Team. Ooh. That was violent. All right. So the first thing out for the single Taurus out there are inspiration. Make sure you're paying attention to what inspires you, what drives you this weekend. If it's not serving your higher purpose and your higher self, then you probably want to stay away from it and make sure you're steering yourself towards things that do, people that do. You don't have to go and do something just because everybody else is and you think you're going to miss out on something. If you're being inspired to stay back behind and maybe do something else, maybe with yourself or with somebody else, do that. Like, make sure that you're doing something because you absolutely want to do it and you feel like it'd be great, not only for your physical self, but for your mental and spiritual self as well. Let's make sure that we're taking care of all three aspects of the human body. Okay, but make sure that you're being inspired by whatever you do this weekend. And if it doesn't inspire you, really think about it and consider whether or not you should be there. Okay? All right. Next up for you beauties out there, this kind of goes hand in hand with the inspiration card, your desires. Let's make sure that we're bringing people in to good desires, healthy desires, not desires that are self-serving. And if they are self-serving, make sure that they're self-serving in the way that's beneficial, to your immediate environment as well. You don't want to do things so selfishly that you're not thinking of anybody else. The moment you start doing that, the universe is going to start working against you. Okay, so make sure that you're doing everything with inspiration and that you're checking your desires to make sure that they're beneficial, healthy, pleasant desires. Okay, let's make sure that we're setting goals and passions that give us fulfillment. All right, and if you have a craving for something, scratch that itch if you can. All right, don't do it in a bad way. Don't make any compromises. Make sure you're getting exactly what you want if you do go out and scratch an itch. But make sure like I said, make sure you're desiring responsibly. Okay. You'll do that by tracking where your inspiration is taking you. It's not always all about getting laid or blah, 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 or finding your soulmate. Sometimes you just want to do something inspired with a bunch of people who inspire you. All right? Next up for my lovely Taurus in a couple or married, passion. If passion has been trouble for you lately in your relationships, you want to try to find that giddy kind of feeling that you used to get by sneaking a kiss in when you could, or by doing something that you weren't asked to do just because they'll think it was really sweet of you to do that. You were thinking of them and you didn't have to. Let's make sure we're doing things with passion this weekend. Let's not just have a sexual relationship just because we want to bump pelvises. Let's make sure that it's passionate, that we really dig what we're getting out of it if we do something this weekend. Let's make sure that whatever we're doing this weekend ignites this from within us so that we're radiating love. Our heart chakra is just radiating energy, okay? Do it with passion, and I guarantee it'll work out for you this weekend, okay? It'll point your life in the direction of your inspiration, because you don't get passion without inspiration, all right? Vice versa. And this might be a key for you guys, you married or Taurus in a couple, is making sure that your nest is well taken care of, well nurtured. You want to make sure that no eggs are being cracked into. You want to make sure that none of them are falling out of the nest at all. You want to keep your family in mind this weekend. I don't know if some of you may have things going on personally with people around you in your familial environment, but make sure that you're taking care of them and keeping your nest as comfortable and as secure as you can. You want to make sure that everyone that you identify with as family feels like they belong to your family, that they don't feel like they're outcast or that they belong outside of your nest somewhere. Okay, because that's what breeds envy, jealousy, hate, all of that stuff, and that's what's going to keep you grounded this weekend, is paying a little attention to your family this weekend. All right. And for the Taurus that's kind of in between, like you're not here, you're not there, maybe you have this going on or that going on, but you, for some reason, you just don't identify as being single or as being in a relationship. This is for you guys. And since we're in between worlds, we're going to pull one from the top and one from the bottom of the deck to give you guys some good advice, all right? But for the Taurus out there that's kind of living in two worlds right now, we're going to watch our actions, what we're doing this weekend, okay? Let's make sure that we're doing everything we can with grace, with the same grace that you see in these arms and these legs. She's not going to fall down because she missed a step. She's going to spin around, and it's going to be, you wish you had whipped out your phone just to get that spin. It's that kind of thing that we want to be doing this weekend, being as graceful as we can with our words, with our actions. Let's not be terse. Let's not be harsh. Let's be as loving and as passionate and compassionate as we can this weekend. Okay, Team Taurus? We're the bulls, so we can push people around. We can do that just fine. We know that. But we can also push people in a good way. Get them out on the dance floor, shake that booty. You know what I'm saying? Like we can have eloquent actions as well, and elegant actions. So let's make sure that we're doing that, dancing instead of bumping. Let's not be the mosh pit this weekend, all right? If you like mosh pits, that's lifestyle choice. But I'm speaking metaphysically, all right? Everybody likes a good mosh pit every once in a while. Also, for my complicated Taurus out there, make sure you're expressing yourself in a beautiful way. The songbird sings, chest puffed out, proud nipples, man. Look at that. That song looks beautiful. Let's make sure we're expressing ourselves in a beautiful way. I think this came up in the weekly read as well. Let's make sure we're pouring our words out and not just spilling our guts. Okay, let's pour those words in a nice, beautiful way. Okay? Use that inner voice and project your inner voice outwardly. Because your inner voice is really beautiful when you want it to be, Taurus. Like you guys can drizzle those words on the fire and probably put it out. So let's do that. Let's do that as much as we can this weekend, okay? And that's all I have for you guys. I'll be talking to you soon. Of course, I'll be doing your weekly as soon as possible. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves as much as possible. It's a pretty good spread out here. As long as we're staying grounded, making sure our family's good and taken care of, watching those desires and making sure we're inspired and passionate about whatever we're doing and expressing ourselves in a beautiful way, we're going to be fine. So be safe out there. Have fun this weekend. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Peace. Namaste.